back to another great episode of Facts and Stats. We appreciate all of our supporters that we've been having over the past couple of months. And also, if this is your first time watching, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, just give us feedback and follow us on our own social media platforms. Also, our page at Facts and Stats _ as well. Today, before we get into all the topics that we got to talk about, such as the Clippers meltdown, the Heat, Bam Block, I have a special guest on the call. I'm gonna allow him to introduce himself. Then we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm Randy, man. Y'all can follow me at the Neuro Chaser, Instagram, Twitter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to have you. So,
To have you there.
to kick off this episode, we seen an amazing block, which pretty much won the game last night for Miami over the Celtics, which was Game 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Randy, talk to me. What was your thoughts on that game? How do you feel like that series is going to go?
Man, that was a big play, man. There was a lot of big plays in that game, and I feel like that series going to definitely go the distance. Both of them two teams, they've been surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect both of them teams to be here in the conference finals.
True.
But I see that thing going 7 games.
Who you got taking 7?
Oh man, if I'm gonna have to really be honest, man, I go with Boston. I stay in a
Ooh.
game 7. Boston with the star power that they got, and I know you're a big Heat fan ever since the beginning, so I know you don't want to hear that. But looking at when it's time to take that big shot, Boston just got so many options.
Yeah.
They could make big plays, and over the last couple of years, you've been seeing them young players emerge to be
Yeah, bro.
dogs.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's
Yeah.
definitely a fact. Okay. Q, what's your thoughts on that, on the Game 1 and for the series?
Man, fire game 1 to start off the series. Overtime in game 1, like decided off a game saving block. That's playoff ball right there. That's what we as fans love. Another great game from Miami, Boston too. Uh, I just think game 1 was just like the signal to what this whole series about to be. A lot of
Yeah.
defense, a lot of close games, a lot of dog fights. So we just gonna see.
That's a fact. Mark, talk to me. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a great game. Made it to overtime. A lot of players hit a lot of big shots down the stretch. Kimba, Marcus Smart, Tyler Hero. Everybody made some great shots. So I see that series going to 7. I'm leading to Boston. I think Boston will bounce back after that game 1, but it's going to be a hectic fight. Jimmy Butler, he got locked down Jason Tatum for the rest of the series for them to, I think, to close them out. But
I hear
I
that.
think Boston got it. They're going to fight back.
Talk to me, King.
I'd say that first game was definitely a roller coaster for real.
Yeah.
And it's like one point the Heat was up by a good margin, then Celtics was up by like 15, and then it just kept going back and forth. And then all the players, like the starters, was realized, it was going at it, like back and forth. Marcus Smart surprised me. Gordon Dragic, he gonna always do his thing. I like him. I always like him as a point guard. And that I agree with all y'all. That series might go 7. And as for who I would pick to win, I would have to go with the Heat. This one. I'm gonna continue to go to
For me, that was one of the best Game 1s I've seen in a while. But like I told y'all before, and I'm gonna keep standing on it until we make the finals. This is the best Heat team I ever seen, and I've been a fan since 2004. That's including LeBron and D Wade and things like that. Like Keem said, Goran Over's gonna ball. He gave you 29. Crowder, who came at the trade deadline, he gave you 22. Bam, 18, 6, 9 game-winning block. Jimmy was Jimmy. He had a clutch and 1 and an and on Tatum. And then Hero, who was 1 assist off a triple-double, who's one of my favorite players as of right now. He had a big-time 3 late. It's the Celtics worried me a lot, though, because, like, if it wasn't for Miami, that was my finals pick anyway. Like, I wasn't high on the Raptors or the Bucks. It was either the Heat or the Celtics. It's just that the Celtics, like Randy said, is really, really a tough team to stop. Tatum made 30 look so effortless. Smart, who was 6 for 13 from 3. I don't know if he's gonna keep that up, but he has been balling in the postseason as well. It's gonna be a good series, but I don't got it going 7. I just think that it's gonna go 6 because I feel like Miami was working against the refs anyway too. Like there was a lot of terrible calls. Like Derrick Jones went into Smart when Kimba pushed him to Smart, and then they got a free throw because of
Yeah,
that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of
Yeah,
BS going on in that
that
game.
was a terrible call.
That was terrible. You know what I'm saying? But it's playoff basketball. It is what it is. You know, I know Boston's not going to back down, and who knows if Kimba's going to continue to shoot bad as he's been shooting. So it's going to be tough. But I think Miami will put it off in 6.
Yeah, that's why I like, you know, it's high. I'm like really high on the Heat, especially like in the Eastern Conference, because like you see they fighting against the refs, but they still,
Make
you
a
know, they
win.
still keep composed and they get the job done. Like that's why, you know, we barely even talk about how like when it comes to refereeing, the Miami be having like the shorter end of the stick all the time, but
Hmm.
we don't really talk about it because they still end up winning, which you
That's
know, which is a good testament to them, good testament to their coaching staff. You
that's a
know,
fact.
yeah,
That's
y'all already know I've been high on this Miami team. That was my pick to come out of the East too. Like
Mm.
that's a
so,
fact. But to what I think everybody been waiting to talk about, um, who's been trending yesterday on Twitter. Damian Lillard
yes
and CJ
sir,
CJ McCollum was chipping in. They was going
yes
crazy. You know,
sir.
the couch.
I have a serious question for y'all. So we just seen the Clippers go be up 3-1, and then they end up losing 3 straight games to the Denver Nuggets, who just did the same thing in their previous series against the Jazz. But we also seen Paul George not show up in another big time game. Is there any playoff P concerns? Mark, I'm gonna start with you.
No, I ain't concerned at all. I'm not concerned at all. I'm gonna tell you why. Because for one, he's not the star of the team. He is an all-star for sure, but he's not the star of the team. The star is Kawhi Leonard, the NBA former NBA champion, who's supposed to be leading the team to the finals, just like he so-called led the Raptors, right? But I don't think he's that leader that everybody thinks he is. He don't talk on the court. He's not vocal for real. He just stays in his lane pretty much. And if he's not dropping 30, then the team is pretty much gonna struggle because, like I said, he's not the only problem. Doc Rivers is also a problem. You know what I'm saying? But they're not gonna really show too much light on that because of his history. You know what I'm saying, with the ring and so forth. But like I said, Paul George is not the problem to me. I mean, he had bad games, but nah,
Look
he's
at
not a
Q,
problem
man.
because I know ain't nobody talk about him when he was scoring, so it's all good.
Randy, chip in, man. Chip in. I feel like you got a lot to say on this topic and Paul George
Yeah.
overall in the playoffs.
I mean, I definitely got a lot to say about that, man. Paul George is a concern for playoff P, and I don't even know why we call him playoff P, because that's where he don't show up at. I mean, he played much better in the regular season. But yeah, man, Paul George he's not no Durant. He's not a Kawhi Leonard. You can't afford to have a guy that's just quiet, like like he's an assassin, like them guys.
Hmm.
Like he got a proven track record of winning championships, like those guys. So, I mean, him being laid backs and lax, that's okay, but that's gonna be at the cause of them losing championships. Because
Okay.
you got another LA team that's in position. They was waiting for you. They was
Mm-hmm.
waiting. So it's a concern for me. It's definitely a concern if that's my guy, especially if you considering all the picks that they lost to get Paul George.
Exactly. Exactly. 5 first round picks and SGA and
Yeah,
Gallinari. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, definitely. It's a concern.
Okay. Respect that. Q, I see you over there in Cancun. You know, Patrick Beverly said
Yes
that.
sir.
You
We
talk to me.
linking right after this. You know what I'm saying? I'm linking with the Clipper boys right after this when we get done recording. Cancun cooling. You know, it's not like it wasn't championship or bust this year for the Clippers. And, it. So what? They gave up 15 first round picks and SGA for Paul George, who ain't do nothing in Game 7. You know, they've been talking all year, but this don't mean nothing, man. It's not championship or bust
I
like
mean, I don't
playoff
know. I
P
feel like,
said.
I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, Came in, whoever. I feel like it was championship, bro. I mean, they was talking about they the best defensive team. They went out their way. They added Reggie
Nah,
Jackson. They added Marcus Morris. They done did everything they needed to do to have that championship. To have that championship mindset, and they just came up short. And I'm not
yeah,
even
you right.
only concerned about Paul. Well, I'm not concerned about Paul Kawhi at all. But Don't get me wrong, Mark. I know you want to blame Kawhi too. Yes, Kawhi shot bad in the fourth quarter, but
One for 11.
Kawhi overall had a better playoff run with the Clippers, though, bro. You got to talk about that.
Yeah, I was definitely capping just now. You definitely
like,
right. I feel the exact same way.
I can bring the facts out. It's facts and stats. Kawhi averaged 29 points, 5 assists, and 9.6 rebounds, shooting 50% from the floor. Paul George, on the other hand, averaged 21.
But where was that in the fourth? Where was that in the fourth quarter? Them last two games. Where was
what
that
about
in the fourth
Paul
quarter?
George though, bro? He shot 41% from the field in all the playoff
Kawhi
games.
is the leader. Kawhi
like one
is the leader.
One thing you gotta remember is like when you look at all the championship teams throughout history, it's always in the playoffs. It's always like a time where the star player is kind of, he's not playing at his best level, of course, because of, the opposing coach like scouting him and all that. And then, fatigue from doing the most all the time. That's when your supporting cast and your number two, that's when they're supposed to step up. And Paul George doesn't do that
at all.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. So you said supporting. Yeah, we'll let you
okay. Hold on.
It's really all of them. But Paul George is number two. Paul George is the other all-star.
Go ahead, King.
King, what's your thoughts, man? Any playoff concerns?
Go ahead.
Most likely, yeah. Because you gotta look at the past history of the teams. We've been to playoffs with the Pacers, Oklahoma City. It's just like, now how much more are we gonna see? Really?
Just say he's a bum.
What can?
Yeah, like just say he's a bum.
You wasn't leading the Pacers versus to pass the Heat. Come on now, he didn't have a team to pass the Heat. And then OKC didn't have a team to pass the damn near the Rockets or the fucking.
He played the Utah Jazz,
Portland.
bro. Donovan
He played the Jazz and the Blazers, and he was the highest
There was
seed.
no excuse for that.
And you got Russell Westbrook on your team who turned the ball over 8 times a game.
That was your guy.
What did that mean?
You're an OKC fan. That was your guy.
You said right, but you said it's a team effort, like you just said, right?
So what about the game in the playoffs against the Jazz? Go ahead.
You're not winning the champion. You're not winning the championship with 2 people.
How do you fold as the number 1 option and the number 2 option? It's just like how you like. It's literally every time in the playoffs. It's every single time. Like,
so how did he fold the last game against Portland? He had 37. Where did he fold at? Where's the rest of the team at? Russell Westbrook. Where is he at?
Stepped up.
I'm pretty sure he shot inefficient that whole time.
No, he did not shoot inefficient. He was scoring. The only person scoring. Like you said, he's the only person scoring. So you got Russell not doing nothing.
I was hoping you brought that up, bro, because in that playoff run, no, never mind. That's a different year. Never mind. I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna hold that thought.
Then you got Melo. Yeah, the playoff run with Melo. Melo ain't.
Yeah, that's the playoff run I'm talking about. He was the MVP candidate, and then his stats.
No, that was the year. That was the year after.
Yeah, you're right. That was the Portland series. You're right.
If you just listen to all the guys that was a part of all the runs that Paul George had, it's no excuse. You got Carmelo. If you listen to all the names guys that he played with, it's no excuse.
George Hill,
especially. I mean,
that was a
George
mob.
Hill, not the best. That's a role player, man. He's a good.
That's a mob getting past
George
the Heat.
Hill, Lance Stevenson, Paul George, David West, Roy Hibbert.
Yeah,
Lance Stevenson getting past the Heat. Lance Stevenson getting past the Heat.
Come on, Mark.
I don't fault him for that one. I don't fault him for that one.
I don't fault him.
I'm not gonna blame him for that one.
I blame him for Utah,
bro.
Utah,
like everything from
bro.
OKC on, like everything from like 20, like maybe like 2016 on, like I think where it started was like that run against the Cavs when his last year on the Pacers when they ran into the Cavs. I think that's where like he just turned into a bum every playoff series.
So name 5 players off the Thunder bench from that last year. Supporting cast, bro. Like I said, Paul George is not leading the OKC Thunder to no ring. Come on, bro.
Hey, 2007.
He had to lead him to a ring, but like, don't be like he can't even get past round 2.
I was about to say
Russell Westbrook on you. You got Russell Westbrook on you too.
I would say really the biggest concern is not really Paul George, but it's Doc Rivers, like we talked about a few episodes ago. I really think it's time for him to go. That's just me. They can't get over the hump. They really can't. With him there, and he had Kawhi and Paul George playing for the longest for 7 games straight.
So it's Paul George. It's Doc Rivers' fault why they blew 16-point leads in Game 5 and 6. It's Doc Rivers' fault why Paul George and Kawhi couldn't score the ball in the fourth quarter. Yes, it is.
I think it's everybody. I don't think it's just
Everybody,
one person.
but
It's literally
you cannot
it's
blame just Paul
everybody.
George.
Yes, Mark, it's
First
everybody.
of all,
But
No, but we gonna get on Paul
listen.
George regardless
Listen,
though, because
listen,
it's
Lou
time and time
Williams.
again.
Listen, Lou Williams, game 3, 4 for 11. Game 4, 3 for 11. Game 5, 2 for 10.
Mhm.
Game 7, 3 for 11.
Okay.
That's your 6 man. That's your 6 man right there.
Okay.
Come on, bro.
Okay, but
And
Mark,
help.
you said it's been
Supporting
everybody, right?
cast.
You said it's been everybody.
Supporting cast.
But who shoots the worst on that team? Paul George, and he's a star, right? He shoots the worst, right?
Bro,
He
you
shoots
gotta take the
terrible, bro.
shots.
He's inefficient.
You want him to take the shots, right?
He's healthy. His
You
shoulder
want him
not
to take
messed
the
up this
shots,
time.
But you want him to take the shots, right? If he's a star, you want him to take the shots. Whether they going
I want him to make the shots.
Well, we all.
I want him.
We all want that.
I want him to
This
make the
ain't
shots.
This ain't 2K. We can't control them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right, man.
Yeah.
So make a mislead.
All right, so quick question. So where do the Clippers go from here?
I mean, they really don't have much of a choice to run it back. They're not about to start moving pieces or nothing. I doubt it.
I see you grab another big man. And
yeah, you could like make some adjustments to the rosters in the off season, but like you can't really change like the foundation right now because you kind of locked in.
Yeah.
With this unit.
You gotta take the devil off that one.
And they already said Doc was coming back. Like something just popped up on my phone probably 20 minutes ago, saying Doc coming back.
Yeah, that's Steve Ballmer guy. He ain't going nowhere
at all.
And we can't sit right here and blame Doc Rivers. At the end of the day, first of all, we gotta remember the narrative of the season. You know, you had Kawhi to start the season. He's saying that he's the new king in LA. He got a chip on his shoulder. He going off a ring. Let's talk about this stuff. And then you got let's go back to Portland series when they got rid of Portland and you heard all the guys chatting at Damian Lillard who was shorthanded. Right. So you know what I'm saying? And then we were talking about them being better than the Lakers. You saying that Kawhi is a better player than LeBron. You know, the disrespect for you not to show up is inexcusable.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's inexcusable.
If they putting you in the same talk as LeBron, you got to show me you LeBron. Then you got to show me you got to lead the team. If Paul George struggling, you got to take over.
He been doing that the whole playoff. I just told you the playoff stats,
bruh. What you mean? He just went 1 for 11. He just went 1 for 11 in the second half.
And what did Paul George do?
What you mean? But that's not the thing.
Hey, come on,
Kawhi. We talking.
You showing favoritism, bro.
If you're gonna put Kawhi and LeBron in the same conversation, come on, you cannot go for 1 for 11 in the second half.
Yeah. Bro. Well, let's just not put him in that conversation. That wasn't supposed to happen to begin with. It wasn't.
What's your thoughts, King?
Y'all going on that? How many times are we going to keep seeing Doc Rivers fall short in the playoffs? It's been a decade. It's been sometimes coaching can get you over that hump, really. And I don't think the only way they get better is they let him go. But like Randy just said, they're going to keep him. So we might just continue seeing the same thing with Doc Rivers, not getting anywhere, not progressing.
I mean, if we really look at Doc Rivers, like his coaching tenure in LA, you got to remember who he was up against. You got to remember that when he had a full mob, Blake Griffin and Chris Paul couldn't stay healthy at the same time. Yeah. And then you also got to consider that was in the midst of a Warriors dynasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot that went into play. So I wouldn't put it all on him, but I do think we got to start evaluating Doc and saying maybe we need somebody in there.
I like that you just said that because that was in the middle of when the Warriors were growing. The Grizzlies were still the Grizzlies. They was tough at that time. And then the Spurs, they went to back-to-back finals in 2013 and 14. So it definitely wasn't easy. And after that, the Warriors took over.
But you can't forget about OKC did take the Clippers out of the series when they was up like 3-1.
OKC
put them out. OKC put them out. Yeah.
That's mainly the problem. He got a history of blowing 3-1 leads.
Yeah, this is third one.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, well, I think we talked enough. I think we all have some agreements and some disagreements. Only Mark, but I mean, it's okay. I ain't gonna say too much. But now the Nuggets did advance. Like Randy said, the Lakers were waiting to see who they're gonna play. The Nuggets, Lakers, Jokic, AD, Jamal, LeBron. What's your thoughts on that series, real quick, everybody?
like I told you, Jokic is the best center in the league like 5 episodes ago. My man is the first player in NBA history to have 20 plus rebounds and a triple double in Game 7.
Yeah, that's a
Come on,
fact.
man.
That's a
Only
fact. So,
player in the
are you
league.
telling me they got a chance to win this series or no?
Nah, I'm not gonna say all that because I feel like they're gonna be burnt out. And had 2 Game 7s in a row. I feel like they're gonna be a little burnt out against LeBron. They're gonna be fresh. So I mean, they might get them to like maybe Game 6, Game 5, maybe, but I don't think it's going to stop. And if it does, they're not winning that game.
Okay. Keem, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like Mark said, they're gonna be a little bit burnt out, starting the beginning because Lakers did have more time to rest.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nuggets can push it to 6 at least, but I got Lakers winning the series, but Nuggets can take that strong push and steal 2 games from them.
Okay. Q, what's your thoughts on that series coming up?
Yeah, I think they could maybe push it to 6. And like I'm saying, I really feel like it might be another 5 because I don't really see them. I could see them stealing maybe 1 or 2. I'm not gonna say 5 because I respect them more than that, but I'm not gonna go past 6.
Okay. Okay. Randy, what's your thoughts?
Hey, Avery, you a Miami guy. You know about LeBron James. You know what happens around this
Exactly.
time. We know what happened. We know we're gonna get.
Exactly.
Normally we doing this in June, but coronavirus came, hit the scene, and we're gonna have to do it in October. But we know what's going on. I think LeBron at 80
Already
is
know.
just too much for him. With 80 being a person that could just disrupt you, on the defense end and the offense end, it's gonna be hard for them. And I feel like Jokic, she'll put a stop to all that Jokic noise when he see him.
I like that. That's a hot one. I like that. I agree with that actually. AD is my favorite big man in the league right now. Jokic,
Mm,
who
Looks
he's a
like
star
Embiid, but
player,
all
but
right.
I feel like it's Jamal Murray team.
mm,
That's just my thought though. They both been averaging 26. They both been averaging 26 throughout their playoff run this year. But without Jamal, his 50-point games and his 40-point games against Utah, it wouldn't be no Denver right now. So I feel
right.
like it's Jamal Murray team, but Jokic is just that second guy. You know, that's just me. But I'm not gonna sleep on this Nuggets team. But I do agree. The LeBron and AD just proved series in and series out, game in and game out, that they just too much of a duo. I'm actually hoping for the Nuggets do win because I want to see Miami play the Nuggets versus Miami play LeBron because I already know what type of time LeBron is on if he make the finals and he don't see the
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you
Warriors.
already
If
know.
he make the finals and he don't see the Warriors, he knows like yeah, I got it. So I'm pulling for the Nuggets, but I know it's probably not gonna happen. I got the Lakers in 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my final thoughts on it, man.
All right, well, that's another episode of Facts and Stats. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, follow IG, Twitter at Facts and
Yes,
Stats, and follow all of us
Mm-hmm.
at our on our social media.
Appreciate it. Most definitely.
Thank you to our guests. Pleasure having you on.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me, man.
most def, man.
Hey man, no
Mm-hmm.
problem.
Appreciate
All
y'all.
right, appreciate y'all.